Tavia continued, unaffected. You're a sympathetic person underneath it all. I want to begin a new, kinder era at House, and I could use your input. We could use your compassion in a place of authority. For a brief anxiety including a moment, Bonnie paused, but thankfully she was just as furious, indicating she hadn't changed her mind one bit. If this is your idea of your kind of era, you can all go fuck yourselves. She sneered, a smug sort of hatred latched on her expression. I'd rather die than 10 times over joining your How's sick shit again. Tavia was sounding like a robot, not bothered by the redhead's outburst. Barely with a shrug, she replied almost in a monotone voice. You sure about this? The part of the hell screw you don't understand, Bonnie snapped, spitting out of the ground in front of her former boss's boots. Tavia stepped back in disgust, shaking her head in disappointment. Atta girl, Mike whispered, flashing a smile towards her encouragement. Bonnie's cheeks turned as red as her hair, and then she lowered her gaze over to the ground with a mumble thanks in return. That's fine, Bonnie, really. You weren't the one I could count on anyway. Tavia then walked away from Bonnie, focusing her eyes on Troy, the one-armed guy who had knelt in front of their line next to Clementine. She could see the body tighten as his muscles as Tavia approached, with an instinctive remaint of his old guard days, probably. Once Tavia was close, he lifted his eyes to meet hers. His face was still blank. Come to think of it, Troy hadn't said anything much since his initial disbelief of Tavia's offer. What could be going on in his mind? Clementine raised an eyebrow, keeping her eyes trained on him. Hello, Troy. I'm glad to see you are alive, Tavia said, kneeling down in front of him with an expectant look. His brow twitched and his face otherwise blank. Thanks, it was a close call, he said in a chipped tone. Nodding, Tavia replied, I'm happy not just because I consider you a friend, Troy, but I'm relieved to see one of Bill's best guards is still around. Her tone indicated that she could have not been obviously more buttering him up, but he didn't seem to take notice. I can't exactly do my duties well without my dominant hand, Troy pointed out dryly. That didn't seem to be a problem for Tavia. She had considered the response. Oh, don't worry, I can help get back on your feet. Train you to use the other hand if you like. We'll find a place for you that is just as good if you don't want to guard, though. Come on, man. It'd be so good to have you back, Lau chimed in behind his boss. With a roll of his eyes, Troy said, Shut up, Lau. You free morons have decided to tie me up like this. I was your frickin' enemy. Don't tell me you all welcomed me back with open arms. Clementine felt a bit of pride for his answer, but it didn't seem like he was just going to believe anything proposed to him, and was taking the time to personalize his rejection on him. She couldn't help but give it a tiny smirk at the thought of him cursing all out. We tied you up because we wanted to be sure, Vera argued, her tone a bit sweet. I know you're still our friend, Troy, and you're still a valuable member to our crumbled community. Yeah, that's right you are, Tavia said, and here to prove it. She then moved behind them, kneeling down to his legs and snipping at the rope holding them together. With a surprised glance, Troy realized he could stand up. He cautiously got to his feet. Clementine's eyes widened at the sight, realizing with one of them free, there might be a chance to work together to get out of this. So, what are your thoughts? Tavia asked, eyes still level with his. The man shrugged. I think I can see what's going on behind this stupid offer. Coolly, Tavia raised an eyebrow. What's that? We all know you don't intend to change a damn thing at House, at least not for the better. The chickens will all be pecking, you'll all be parading around with guns, and everything will be the same. I ain't gonna believe the kinder image in your mind. No one here is gullible, I like to think. What made you come to these conclusions? Tyler asked. You never questioned the authority before. Given a scoff, Troy's eyes scanned the line for people kneeling down. With these folks, well, it's something like dealing with a whole new world. A whole new world? What is this, Aladdin? Vera snarked. Where's your goddamn point? I'm just saying believe in all the shit you would tell me, Troy replied. Tavia snorted. Well, look at you. Some way, you're suddenly like Mr. Independent. But don't insult my intelligence either, Troy. I don't think you're that brainless to know they're losing a fight when you see one. Narrowing his eyes, the one-hand arm muttered, I'm guessing in this situation, you're seeing yourselves as the roosters, bosses, and the chickens around. If you want to put it that way, Troy, yes, Tavia replied. Wouldn't anyone else be sensible to see that? But look, Troy, the point of all this is you can leave in the back of the truck or sit in the front. You can sleep in the cold yard or in your old room. You can wait a week or so to get your gun or never hold one again. Thankfully, Troy still looked skeptical. And you accepted me back after everything? Out of what? Goodness of your heart? Yes, I will in the bottom line. You're sensible enough to follow the top dog without hesitation. I saw you how loyal you were to Bill. And not to mean to lead, but to follow. And you couldn't do anything so well from the bottom of the food chain. Now she was insulting him? Though Clementine couldn't even exactly consider Troy a friend, he was someone she felt somewhat closer to now, and the jabs at him being an idiot irked her. She had seen many times when he was not stupid, and he puts his mind to things. And what made him think the things that he teach her was just like everyone else. It was just like she had listened to those lessons that she could from any adult, well meant for her. Troy's been helpful, Sarah pointed out quietly, unknowingly echoing her friend's thoughts. He might be a little mean, but I don't think he's a bad person anymore. He's smarter than you could ever give credit for. In response to those words, Troy stiffened a bit, causing a glance down at Sarah in bewilderment. It was clear she had caught him off guard. Clementine couldn't really see why he looked almost conflicted at the remark. It was true after all. Tavia clicked her tongue. Cute. Now you both have a fan club. Maybe this time you could choose to fix the fence, instead of letting the little girl do it. Her tone was smug, and her eyes were confident, and her head raised. Troy's jaw then clenched. How did you know about... There are no secrets between Bill and me, Troy. My condolences, by the way. I didn't mean to bring up the past unnecessary. But do please tell me exactly what I need to know about you. You are strong enough to get the shit done. No questions asked. We need you to come back with us. Enough of this shit, Kenny finally yelled. Breaking the moment, both Tavia and Troy turned to him, startled out of their conversation. With the other glare, the man growled, Hey asshole, I trusted you with Clem. Don't forget that. Blinking, Troy mumbled something under his breath, but Clementine didn't hear it. He turned back to his former boss, eyebrows and scrunched down as if in conflict. Yeah, why would he be so look troubled? She would imagine it just to be tough to reject someone who had made you feel safe once more. But Troy had just said that he wouldn't believe in just everything they had told him. But then again, all that had been going on was rejecting the idea of them changing. He never thought that he would outright deny their offer, nor express disdain towards, like, Bonnie. What was he thinking? Tavia gave a toothy, wicked smile. Your place is with us, and you know that. You've always known it, she said sweetly. What do you say? There was silence, and Clementine had opted to break it. She whispered his name, trying to snap him back into reality. In just a moment, he would give a curt, no, screw you, or something like that, right? But Troy's eyes seemed to be at the glitter at the moment, and Clementine could almost see the gears running in his brain. He processed everything. She gave a little low clear of her throat once more, just trying to get him off to look at her. He did, casting his eyes muddled over to her, but his eyes didn't look familiar anymore. They were unfocused, almost as if though he was looking straight for her. He broke the silence with a single word, and it seems to freeze time and place. Okay.